All right, everybody, I'll call to order this meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee of the Bridgewater Town Council. And I'll start with B, approval of minutes. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to C, legislation referred. We'll start with order O FY 26-046, acceptance of donation, Polari Charitable Foundation. Specifics here.
No, they do this every year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm. Well, they started, this is like the
This
third year.
split up 3 ways.
Mhm. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve.
Recommend.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, going to order O FY 26-047. More money coming in. Acceptance of donation, Bridgewater Police Association.
Well, the police department's giving it to the veterans, right?
Right.
We want veterans.
Yeah.
That's nice, you know.
We seem to do this every year, I believe, too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they do, usually give something to the, in honor of the veterans. This year, I think you guys have now noticed, all the outreach that Greg does, and sometimes he wants to, buy lunch and things like that, and I say, no, you can't do that, and, so luckily he has a bit of funds here, so he can do things like that, isn't budgeted or not appropriate use of general fund money, so he'll see some people who have some certain needs, and he has some available funds ready to help anyone out that is in need of that, so good use of the donations.
And the Bridgewater Police Association, that's a separate entity, right? Than the town. I mean, it's
It's the members of the Potomac and the Bridgewater Police Union collective bargaining unit. So
okay.
the mass cops now, they,
It depends on each region, but Mass Cop is general,
yeah,
the larger.
yeah, and they have their own section, but they're known as the Bridgewater Police Association here. Maybe it shouldn't be this on here. I probably should check with them to make sure that we're representing them properly, but it is our town Bridgewater Police members. Yeah.
Miss Berkeley Council.
Yep.
No complaints from me.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to ordinance D FY 25-019, adoption of clause 22I, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 59, Section 5, HERO Act. This was previously on our agenda this past summer.
So we have to make amendments to remove these two names?
Already had brought it up.
Yeah, we obviously I'll stay on, and then we could remove Chase and Striggles from this, and then we would also have to change just the language where it says FY 26. It would just have to be FY 27, and I think other than that, it looks pretty good. So I guess now that we have Shelley here, we can talk about the impact. Or actually, is this one tied to an assessment or no? It's the 22.
This one's the cost of living, right?
Yeah, this one's just cost of living. I think 22J is more of an assessment, right?
That's more of an extensive thing, but Shelley has some information specific into this, so she can reiterate quickly for you guys.
Yeah. This one didn't cost us much.
Correct. It's tied in to the cost of living.
Yep.
So had we had it this year, it would have cost us $2,874 extra
Okay.
Do you know how many veterans?
for everyone, for all veterans.
So there's like
It's 139.
139.
Oh, yes, there's
Okay.
139 veterans this last year.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, so it's basically a 2.93% increase in the exemption. So that's the increase from the 99,100. So that's where you get the 2874.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the state reimburses us,
No, that's in the senior exemptions.
just seniors, not the veterans.
Correct. Well, we do get reimbursements, but not for this particular 22I, we do not.
22J.
Other exemption, no, we won't get that reimbursement.
Oh, okay.
But the ones we already have, the 22, B, C, D, all those we get reimbursed.
Oh, okay.
These are non-reimbursable.
Shelley, talk about that more when you get into the discussion, because you have tax exemptions in your discussion, so we can
Yeah.
talk a little bit
Yeah.
and clarify that there.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah, so we could run the numbers again, but I imagine year over year wouldn't be much higher than the 2874.
This is the latest numbers I have.
Oh, there's the latest. Oh,
Yep.
great. Okay, cool.
Is this just for veterans or does it include spouses as well?
This is just for the veterans.
Just veterans, so it has to be a living veteran.
And no, we have, we do have other, are you just specifically talking about these
Just
exemptions?
yeah.
We have no, none of these are for the spouses, but the 22D, no, actually some are. 22 falls under that. Yeah. Anyone that's in town that's getting an exemption, whether you're the spouse of or the spouse, gets this exemption.
Great.
It's good to know.
And then
As long as they don't remarry. There's like certain criteria they have to meet.
Deb could kind of clarify later on, but I don't know if this went to finance committee for them to comment on. So we could kick it back to the council, and then we may have to see where that is with them so that we can take it up on our agenda so that we can just get this passed for FY27.
Yeah. Great.
If you send it back to the council, you probably make your amendments there to update it there and then send it back to FinCom then.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think Debbie was going to take a look, but we're not sure if we actually properly referred it for that consideration yet.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'll make a motion to approve that.
My second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. So we recommend we'll send it back to the council. Edit.
And then do it FinCom. Yeah. Assuming they haven't looked at it yet. I don't think they have.
Okay, moving to order FY 26-038, transfer order, CPC Town Owned Cemetery Assessment. Anything additional we want to add or talk about here?
Well, I've looked at a company that's been in business for 20 years, has done over 20,000 grave sites. They use the GPR, that radar. They're the only company to use mini cranes to safely move and gravel stones, and they'll give you a free estimate. So I was thinking that maybe, this is town property, that you could look at different businesses rather than paying for assessment. We just do one grave site, bring a company out, kind of negotiate with them.
Yeah, I mean, I can chime on that. I don't know, because you indicated.
I'm sorry, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I've sent out requests for close to 4 companies. They're due February 6th, I believe.
Thank you.
And what we can do is, Mary, with the other information you have, I will say Carlton has been helpful collaborating with Josh in my office in terms of this process to get some quotes. Because as you know, we have a chief procurement person here, but collaborating with this Paul and Highway, Carlton's done a lot of work. We can take a look at the information you got, Mary, and just send that out as well. Just get some quotes and understand what that.
With CPC specifically, do you have to send out RFPs for these type of projects? Is that a requirement? No.
Well, it depends what the financial threshold is and
Yeah.
what determines that. If it's best practice, if it's under 50,000, I believe it is, and I have to take a look at my quotes, but I'm pretty sure 50,000 best practices get quotes from at least 3 different vendors.
Yeah.
If it's over that, you generally do an RFP process.
But the process isn't any different for CPC than another.
No, it'd be the same process.
I'm just curious.
So I do have 2 other questions. There's 14 listed burial grounds, but only 10 are under the town control. Who controls the other ones?
I don't know, across that probably.
They're all run by private entities.
Okay, so we wouldn't have to use
There's
them.
2 Catholic cemeteries. There's Mount Prospect
Oh, okay.
and Scotland Cemetery.
All right, thank you. In the cemetery boundaries, can't the town do that? Zoning, the boundaries? Rather than paying someone to do it?
Well, I would say, in terms of surveying, so we tend to have a third party do that work anyway. We obviously have an engineer, or 2 engineers in engineering division. We typically have a third party survey.
Okay, that's it for me.
Want to make a motion to continue then if there's opinion?
Sure.
So there.
Yeah. That motion to continue.
Okay, all
Second.
those All those in favor?
Aye.
3-0, continue. Okay, moving on to D, public comment. I don't know why this is in the middle of,
You have it on twice.
yeah, usually it's at the beginning, but maybe that's just an error. I'll take a public comment if anybody has one at this point. We'll also have another one later on too.
Just looking forward to the discussion after the business
Thank you.
timetable.
Okay, moving on to the discussion FY25 budget timeline.
Yeah, I think we have a draft. Right?
Yeah, we're working on a draft.
Do you want me to take Shelley on it?
That'd be nice.
Just sit here.
We
Start with that, 'cause
Yeah.
that'd be nice. Thank you.
Okay, let's start there.
Okay, so what exemption would we like to talk about next?
Want to start with 22J?
Yeah, might as well talk about Jay on the
Okay.
veteran theme.
So this will go hand in hand with 22I, if and when it's passed. We are able to go up to 100% increase. And it goes with clause 22, 22A, B, C, E, and F. And inside the pamphlet I just given you right now, we have $99,100 that the exemption cost is to us. That projected cost, if it was 100%, would double.
So that 99-100 is 50%?
100%.
100%, yeah.
And
How
that
low
would
can we start
directly
with
come
that?
out of our,
What's the lowest we can go? So
you
you
can go
go
10%.
10%?
You go up to 100.
So the same veterans that would get the J also get the I?
They will go hand in hand each year if you decided to do it.
Okay.
So the base would start at, 22I and then would go in hand with 22J. So you would add the increase, the COLA increase, and then this would double.
This would double.
Right, so say you had.
It just doubles
400,
the first year?
Huh?
Does it double just 1 year?
No, every year.
Every
No,
year?
what do you need then? The exemption just doubles once, but
Once.
the cost of living goes up every year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So say you had an exemption of 400 and you picked 100%, it would become 800, but then you also picked the 2.9%, then would add that, what is it, $11 or whatever it was onto that.
Mhm.
That's how much the exemption would be.
And this would only be for the 139 veterans?
If we get 180 next year, it would be for 180.
Okay.
That would be from that point on, going forward.
So one of the things that, obviously we wanted to see what the council is interested in exploring. I kind of reviewed with Shelley and Lori and our team, and, we had some thoughts on some exemptions that, based on the previous conversations, that we thought made sense and to explore. Obviously, clause 22I was one of them. Obviously we can talk about 17F because that's for the seniors. And also some other exemptions for seniors based on it being reimbursable by the state, and we can talk about that. The one thing that I want to really sort of highlight for 22J is that, I'm not sure if everyone's aware that, these exemptions come from our budget. It's got to be budgeted and accounted for in our overlay. It does have an impact on our overall operating budget. So while I do realize that we want to provide relief for veterans and seniors, and believe me, we do, we have recommendations to provide some further exemptions. Want to be a little cautious on 22J, potentially. Maybe that's a hold for this year. Let's look at some of the other proposed recommendations we have. Also think you might want to hear from our Board of Assessors on some of their recommendations, obviously. For 22J, you have to count that this is going to go into our overlay moving forward. And it is also depending on how many applicants you get. So these are roundabout. And Shelley's done a lot of work. She does research, but it potentially may go up, right? So I just want to be cognizant of that as we discuss that.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of removing benefits of hiring an employee at $100,000 because it's going to carry every year and it's going to get a COLA increase.
Correct.
No health insurance, but
It is $100,000.
It's
That's
$100,000.
$100,000 we got to count for again. That's being taken out of the budget. It's got to go on over.
Mhm.
But I did specifically wanted to talk about 22 that is not gonna cost the town as much.
Mhm.
So the equivalent to the one that you just voted on, the 22I, there's something called a 17F.
Mhm.
And 17, it would cost the town. If we had a total number of 60 exemptions, it would cost the town $357, $595 per applicant, at a 3.4% COLA increase.
Mhm.
So
And this is for seniors.
that's what,
This one's for senior citizens.
I'm sorry,
This one's for senior citizens.
senior citizens, correct.
But they can't get both, right? The veterans can't get both, the veterans COLA and the senior
No, One
discount?
exemption per person.
Okay,
And adding on to that, I know we had talked previous about senior exemptions. Right now, we only have 4.
Mhm.
And so we are allowed up to 60 without having to spend any money. Everything will be fully reimbursed up to 60. So we have 56 right now. That is, no one has, no one out there that I obviously can't fit into the criteria. So if you would think about changing, there's a few things that we thought about changing, that maybe the age, maybe decrease the age a little bit, increase the income limits, and increase the whole estate limit to try to draw in more seniors to the exemptions.
and we decide what percentage? The exemption, it goes from 0 up to 100%?
You could do the same with this as you do the 22J, but this, I'm strictly just talking about trying to at least get us up to the 60 applicants at 500. So this would be a $500 exemption. And it would cost the town nothing if it stayed within that 60 applicants.
So the key thing to expand on there is obviously we could take a look at what opportunities we have available to try to maximize participation where it's state reimbursable. But let's say we did change, age eligibility significantly lower, income limits or estate limits lower. If, for example, instead we had 60 people, we had 100 people that were eligible for that exemption, we would have to account for that additional 40. We would have to pay for that. Once again, the overlay thing.
Mhm.
But for our purposes and Shelley's work here is like, what are the changes that we think we can make to help maximize participation? It's state reimbursable, it's not an expense to us. So we can look at that if that's something of interest to you and have some recommendations for you all to consider to make.
So the age right now is 70? So if we bring it down to 65, will we still get reimbursed?
I think 65 might bring in more people.
Okay.
This is my thought.
Yeah.
I'm seeing what's goes on out there, and especially with 17Ds. So I was thinking 68.
68, okay.
But
Well, that's good.
Because again, we can
65, a
talk
lot
about
of
that.
people are still working full time.
But the income is so low, so I think even if we brought the income up.
Yeah. So that's where Shelley would do that work and we would have a recommendation for you on a thought. That makes sense?
Okay,
But like you said, 65, sometimes if you bring that age threshold too low, then you will probably
Yeah.
we don't know, we'd have to look, you may have an increase beyond the 60 that's covered in the state. And that's the part where I said, we gotta be cognizant that Shelley can do more work and collaborate with the assessors and give some recommendations if you guys want to look at that.
Mhm.
We think it makes sense.
Sure.
yeah, I like 68. Way more,
So
That's a good
would this be called 17F or is this 41C?
It's called 17F, part of the 41C. So these are options under 41C.
Under 41C, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so we would just need an order to propose this and bring this forward.
And do we have to come up with the exemption amount? Or will you?
We would like
That
to
we-
give a recommendation,
Okay,
right? Hold on.
I would recommend, we're not doing that this year, right? That would be,
Where, what are we referencing?
she wanted to know if we were going to be increasing the exemption amount, right? Is that what you asked?
well, if we bring the age down to, down to 60, 68, and then it says the exemption amount may increase by any percentage up to 100, what percentage would we do?
We wouldn't do
Exemption.
that. We wouldn't
You wouldn't do that?
we wouldn't vote that one in.
Oh, okay,
Because that would do what the 22J does,
It doubles.
which is double it,
Okay,
or,
so it'd be the cost of
50%.
living.
right.
And the
Okay.
current exemption, the way it is now, is $500.
Mhm.
So the $500 will remain.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. I like that. Help the seniors.
Is this coming with a COLA increase as well, or no? This is just gonna.
That's what Shelley mentioned before.
Yes.
We could look at doing the same, if you wanted to match what we were doing for veterans in 22I,
Yeah,
we could do the 17F and do that COLA.
17F and then
Yeah.
plus a COLA.
Yeah, so that's what we're recommending to take a look at.
Okay.
Shelley, you agree with that?
Yep, do the 17F, which is the COLA, and then do the 41C, which is the options you have,
Mhm.
which are the three we just talked about: age,
Mhm.
income, whole estate.
We'll
Or
look,
not.
we'll look at income too.
Huh?
We'll look at income too, recommendations on that.
Yep, we can look at income, because right now it's really,
13.
you have to be destitute.
Yeah.
I mean, only 4 people obviously qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's something we can look at, so. So you want me to look at all three?
Yeah.
Is that, okay,
Yeah.
Whatever gets us closest to that 60, right?
yeah, that's what I'm.
You might as well.
I figured we can go back to the table too, right? We can always amend this, I think. I don't see why we couldn't. We
Year to
could
year.
add or,
You could add. Yeah, we'll see what the.
Yeah, probably go over well.
Yeah, that's why we
Halfway
want
through tax.
That's why we like to be very conservative first.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Shelley, take a look, have a recommendation from the Board of Assessors. Get us closer to getting to full state reimbursement.
Mhm.
But I don't want to go over it because it's difficult to take away once you give
But
it.
even if we get to 20 or 30 people, it's great.
Exactly.
yes.
What's our dollar per user or exemption over 60? What's the effective cost to the town if we get 61? How much is that one person?
Definitely.
So it costs us 100% of the exemption.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, you do want to walk that line because if you get, an extra 100, now we're talking about, $50,000.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm. Let's make it. And if you need any of the. house-
Sarah, you can assume it for that 5,000.
I appreciate
But still,
it.
it's like 50.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
that.
welcome.
Making sure.
You're welcome.
We'll give that some time and revisit.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, moving back to FY 27 budget timeline.
So, here's a draft. You've got a lot of PVDs in there because you gotta, schedule. So we've already done, so if you look at some of the dates, we have already completed some of the things up until tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a joint meeting. So up until that, we're scheduling. Look at kicking off our budget. We're working, Justin and I are working on the preliminary budget message for the departments. And, we haven't even really had a chance to sit down and go over a financial forecast, which we need to carve some time out to really study that. So Justin and I still have a little bit of work to do. But this is our loose schedule. We hope to finalize it by the time February 1st comes along. We should know a little bit more, perhaps how you guys want to meet. FinCom has expressed some interest in their setting up some subcommittees, so we're trying to work with all that scheduling, schedule some time with the school. We've met, a couple times with the superintendent and the town of Rainham, and Justin and I with the town administrator over in Rainham and the finance director. So we've had some, preliminary conversations. So we're all working very closely and communicating, you know, what's going on in both towns. You know, what we're looking at, what they're hearing out there in the Commonwealth, so. And we know this weekend is the MMA, ICMA 351 or whatever they're calling it now. Connect. Woo. So they're rebranding all that, but you know, we hope to get a good indication from that when the governor, you know, makes her presentation or her speech. So we're kind of waiting for that to get some real preliminary numbers and start plugging away.
I think Gloria did a good job. I think our synopsis is, obviously, this is draft. There's some elements, obviously, we pushed ahead to capital, for example. You know, timelines for from departments in terms of their expenses. And this draft timeline, once again, is a draft, so there is tinkering that we'll still do. But we've moved it up 2 weeks than what was previously done before. So, you know, where possible, we're trying to move the timeline a little bit further so we can just have a little bit more time to talk about this and collaborate. But this just gives you a good structure of kind of where we're at now. So
does he say that the amount that the bottom amount that we have to give to the schools, does he do that?
this gives you a minimum contribution.
That by law, this is what we have to give to the town, and then we negotiate because they all ask for more, right?
Well, we're always over the.
Always way over,
Yeah,
yeah.
We're always over.
But your synopsis is correct.
Right, so, I mean, if we just gave what Desi said, legally, we'd be in legal standards.
If the
That's what
school
Desi said.
committee
Yeah,
would,
but there's a
Definitely
catch to
budget.
that. That's exactly where you're gonna go, because if you just do the minimum, but let's say they don't agree with that, that triggers that
Then they're
whole
gonna go to
process that we
joint.
talked about this past year.
Yeah,
Right, because that's not gonna be acceptable for them. I don't wanna speak for them, but more than likely, I think we all will agree with that.
right. No, I'm not saying I'm doing it, they
No,
always
I
act
know.
like we
Yeah.
don't give them more than what the
Yeah,
state tells us.
Yes.
I just want to clarify that. The other thing is do we're still doing the finance and budget subcommittee? You're gonna have to replace Sonia.
oh, the working group that we had over there?
Is that what this is? The budget and finance subcommittee?
No, I
No,
think
that's you guys right here.
that's us.
That's your council.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
So
don't
you
track
called it the
that.
working group?
Yeah.
yeah, it was called the superintendent's working group.
Okay.
We haven't discussed if we're gonna how we're gonna continue
Did you
doing
find
that.
that helpful? Then?
Yeah, I thought it was helpful. I thought that the collaboration was helpful. So we could ask tomorrow if they want to continue to do that and who would they like to see on it, because
Yeah.
how it worked logistically was the superintendent invited members of the council and members from Rainham to participate. So we could see
You
what that
picked
was
up
like.
people from the council?
Yeah, because it's ultimately his working group. I think it was done in collaboration, but you know, for the purposes of, you know, who owns, you know, that actual group, it came from the superintendent, so he had to, you know,
So the
essentially
council
ask
didn't
for
pick
for it.
you guys out?
What's
Didn't you guys volunteered, but so he actually picked,
I think that's how I understand it. Jason
That's how
can
it-
speak to.
That's how it was nuanced. I think
Yeah.
when you have a counselor that I remember brought up, you know, if we're gonna do this, you probably wanna
Right.
consider.
So we can only
Appointments.
make these meetings. The school sets those. And
Yeah.
This is just my getting the info on their websites, maybe some meetings or whatever, and I try to tip them in there. The only dates I know for sure usually are the hearing. They've already set their public hearing, so they usually do some meetings before that. So
But in terms of that group that you're referencing, we weren't really involved. Like, for example, Lori and I didn't attend any of those meetings or anything. It was framed as it's a superintendent's meeting and there was.
Yeah, it wasn't like
didn't
a
start out
town
that way.
council. It wasn't like a town council ad hoc group or a committee of the council.
yeah,
It
but I
was-
remember it starting out that way. I don't even remember Mr. Powers being at all the meetings. Was
He
he?
was. He should have
At
been
all of them?
there. Yeah, he should have been there.
Are they negotiating his contract? Is this gonna
Yes.
interfere with our budget?
I can't speak to
You can't
that. I
speak to
believe I'll let them.
Cause I'm just thinking what's happened with that. I mean, this is the worst time of year to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's in his final year, so I think they started to get asked tomorrow.
They have a subcommittee.
They have a subcommittee. Yeah,
Yeah.
their negotiations committee or something.
When do they have to decide by?
I don't know the exact date. I just know that they just formed the committee recently.
Well, to do it during the finance budgeting. Like stuff.
What was it?
Do it this time of year. To bring a new person in. I mean, that's brutal. Oh, well.
I have a question on our timeline.
Mhm.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what the the February 3rd town manager issues preliminary budget first pass of revenue sharing? What does that look like?
So that usually is a high level sources and uses, so that
Mm.
kind of just determines, we kind of make an estimate of what the levy plus 2.5, plus our preliminary new growth, what a comfortable number we have. And then, it's based on what we hear this weekend,
Mhm.
plugging in the state. And we look at our local receipts, based on where they are now. So we just give a high level preliminary revenue and, we take what a high level budget of the current budget is, add some,
Mhm.
what are we hearing for insurance? We know what the pension is gonna be already, that payment. So we know some things. What do we know about health insurance? What do we know about, the industry, building insurance? That's all of a sudden like we're looking at our budget this year, we're like, what's going on with insurance? So,
Building insurance, you said?
property insurance, yeah.
We also have a new fire station.
Yeah, we got a new fire station, that's gonna, bump up our, insurance property. I mean, that's $26 million building, so
Vacant buildings, like,
the vacancy buildings, we've got, yeah.
But I would say what it looks like it's essentially a high level initial forecast. To be
Okay.
honest with you. It's an inexact science. It's based on a lot of presumptions, et cetera.
Mhm.
But at least we want to try to get for that. I think it's going to be similar to what I expect, what tomorrow's meeting with the school committee will look like. It's going to a really high level of where numbers look at right now in this picture. Obviously, that's going to be adjusted as we get through the budget process. It's like a preliminary forecast.
Yeah, I remember us doing that last year, so I think this will be helpful.
Yeah, well,
We
we
did
did
do
do
that?
it last
Oh, that's
year,
it.
and I think we were in the hole about 1.2 million.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
so
what
that's
that was.
kind of like
Okay.
where we say, okay, I mean, you can't, you start getting into all the details of everything, but it just kind of gives you like, oh, what's gonna be our delta to try to balance the budget. So it's kind of our first look at, a sensible estimate.
I have a question, Laura. When people retire, do we still pay for their health insurance, the town?
Mhm.
So the school does that too?
Yes.
So that would be what, their capital bill, operation, what do they put it in?
It's in operations, but
Operations. Mhm. How many years do you do it forever?
it'll be passed.
Put an asterisk to that. That's for people who decide to continue. Some people
Yeah.
don't continue the health insurance. I mean, I don't know why they would in this case, but there's some employees that don't continue health insurance for
Yeah,
a variety.
they
Maybe
can
they had it
have
through a
Medicare.
spouse or Medicare, whatever it may be. So it's really dependent on the individual.
When most people retire too, and they do get on Medicare, they're required to, they, sign up for Medicare and Medicare B.
B.
And then there's a supplemental that's offered, by the towns or schools, whatever, and it's substantially lower than a regular HMO or network, the benchmark programs that we have. It drastically goes down from an individual plan if that's what someone's on until they turn 65. It's about $800 a month maybe now, and they pay whatever their portion is. So the town will drop that when they turn 65, when they're going to supplement to about under 300 a month.
Okay, thank you.
So the retirement, the cost of that do go down usually. But again, some people don't take it. They opt out. They're flying and off to Florida or
Yeah,
whatever.
don't blame them. Everything's going up right now.
When do we expect excise tax estimates to come in?
We just got the commitment, so, yeah.
How are we looking?
It came in about 224,000 more, so.
Did we budget?
No, well, we haven't put it into our 27, but. Oh, you mean this? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forget what I even budgeted for. We just looked at it and now we're scrubbing the exemptions and everything.
Okay.
We literally just got it. I think the thing is, we're in the positive.
Yeah.
Good. I was waiting for that.
This is what we.
So-
It was,
no,
yeah,
totally, this
yeah,
is
it
the
was
time.
a couple $100,000 more than last year, which I think is in the range what we estimated it to be.
Are we gonna be able to review at our next meeting where we're at exactly 6 months through the fiscal year?
Yep, we're currently working on December. We're waiting for Treasury to reconcile their cash, so we don't like to give the revenues out, or not give the revenues out, but to process it. Because in the reconciliation process, you know, things that aren't posted change the receivables and changes the cash and the revenue numbers, so you don't like to finalize it until that. It is the 20th, I know, but with the holidays, we've had people taking their time off. I'm down another person. I don't know if you guys are done. Bernard left, so finance is down a person, so we're trying to get those numbers, but the December numbers do look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty solid, but yeah, by your next meeting, you should have December's, or hopefully by the end of this week.
To the next 2 points on here, and to your point, I was hoping that post February 2nd date, or whenever the town council receives that first draft, that we could come together and do a deep dive into the budget,
Mhm.
the three of us.
Yep.
And then I know the finance committee's been itching too to have some type of deep dive again into the budget
Okay.
too, so my thought was to save time for the town staff is if we could do or schedule something, maybe 2-3 hours that were available. First half would be just us, and then maybe the finance committee joins us halfway through. Together, we dive deep into this. I think that just might save a lot of the questions that we have over the next couple of months, at least, to familiarize ourselves.
I think that's best.
If we could do it on like the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah.
Because this will be available on the 3rd, you anticipate?
And I also think it's good for us to get a feel for what the finance committee's going to do,
Mhm.
what they're going to be looking for, so that we can align with them.
Yeah, I know they like to do Mondays, so that's the 9th, or we could do it Tuesday, the 10th, which is in between a council meeting.
Okay.
So if, if you want to coordinate with MJ and see what they're all thinking.
There is a typo on your schedule. It says February 2nd for council meeting, but it's really the 3rd. I mean, I corrected it here, but I noticed on your town council schedule. It's on the,
Oh, okay.
it says the 2nd, and that's a Monday.
Yeah, it's the 3rd.
Do either of you have preference for Monday, Tuesday that week? We do it. To be
If it's in between, I can do it either way.
okay.
Yeah.
And maybe start at 6 and go a few hours.
Yeah. Do you want to start without them or just start with them?
I think it might be best to start without them, just so we can get our questions out of the way and ourselves situated.
Mhm.
I'm open to whatever you guys think is best.
Whatever you think is best.
I have a question.
I just think like what's 1 second, sorry. If I feel like if the room's full, it's gonna not be a lot of time for questions.
Makes sense.
Sorry to interrupt. So this is a budget workshop to speak specifically to the sources and use document we submit for the preliminary budget, the forecast essentially. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that. Yeah, just diving deep, even into last year's budget to see where what that look like in comparison.
Yeah, I'm open to either date. Whatever works for everybody, because it sounds like you met the coordinating staff as well, so
Maybe we start at 6 and then come at 7. Just
Yeah.
an hour.
works for me.
Okay, I'll coordinate with them, Jeff. You, just again on those points, do we feel like we need to meet more frequently between now and then at least, or?
Between now and then, I think we're okay. I think once we get that document, once we hear what the schools have to say tomorrow, which sounds like it's going to be high level, and then I think Superintendent Powers, as he present his initial budget presentation, is it February 2nd? I think it's February 2nd. So it sounds like by the end of that week, we're going to have a lot of stuff to look at. So I think getting together as a group on the 9th and 10th is a good place to kick it off. Then we have our council meeting on the 17th, and then we can figure out what we want to do between then and March. We're also going to have the results of the operational review coming out probably at the end of February or March, and then we could set time to look at that too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I in the wrong place? I'm sorry.
You're, but I think you guys start at 7.
Got it.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Works. Anything else on this?
No, sounds good to me.
Okay.
But yeah, after that, I think, just being flexible, we could be flexible
Yeah.
and meet more often if we need to dive into the budget, because as we know, once that 45-day mark kicks off, we'll want to have eyes and ears on this.
Yeah.
You just, how often we have to meet till we get it straight. You know,
Yeah, we'll get it done.
2/3 of this community might not even be here to vote on it, so.
let's not say that.
What's that?
please.
Because we vote on the budget after the election. day.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and May 5th or 6th, right? Yeah.
All right, I'll move to public comment if there's no other. Any comments? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion
Second.
made, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carries.
All right.